Hello, this is Hams from the patio, and we are subtracting decimals, and this is part two. If you haven't watched part one, or if you need or think you want to go back and watch part one, you can do so, but you don't necessarily have to because if you can do the ones on this one, part two, then you can do the ones on part one. So here we go. When we're subtracting decimals, we can just line up the numbers by place value along the decimal point. And so like you see, I have here on this worksheet, if your worksheet or homework or textbook or whatever have the problems written out horizontally, then you can just simply rearrange them in a vertical manner like this, again, along the decimal point and by place value. And so we're going to work these problems out on this sheet and show you how to do it. All right, and so don't worry about it. That's what I like to say. I'll show you how to do it. And so let's get to it. This first problem, we have 548.00. And like I explained in part one, when we have multiple zeros, then we will change these. Let's write this out here. Let's say if I had, just real quick, let's say this was 7.0000. If we had all these zeros, and I had 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. Well, we'll borrow the one from this whole part, or the number here that's next to it that's not a zero. And then the first zero will be 10, but every zero after that will be nines. Okay, the first zero will be 10, and every zero after that will be nines. Okay, and so if you have a homework a sheet or whatever you're working on that has more than two zeros than what I have here. And so that's how that would be done. Okay, so let's work these problems out real quick. All right, we have 548. I have zeros here, so I'm going to borrow from the 8 and make that a 7. All right, let's make this a little bit bigger for us. I'm going to borrow from the 8 and make that a 7. And then, remember, the first zero will become 10, and the second zero will become 9. All right, and so 10 minus 7 is 3. 9 minus 6 is 3. And then we have 7 minus 7 is 0. 4 minus 0 is 4. And then 5 minus 3 is 2. And so we have 340.33. All right, so that's how that's done with the zeros. Okay, and everything else would just be like subtracting whole numbers. Okay, we have 7 minus 8. We can't subtract 8 from 7, so we'll borrow the 10 or the 1 from 9, make that a 17. 17 minus 8 is 9. And then 8 minus 4 is 4. And then we have 7 minus 6 is 1. 2 minus 2 is 0. And 3 minus 1 is 2. And so that was simple 201.49. Moving right along. Okay, we have 843.558. So 8 minus 4 is 4. 5 minus 7. Can't subtract 7 from 5, so we'll borrow from this 5. That becomes a 14 now. And this becomes a 15. 15 minus 7 is 8. And then 4 minus 6, can't subtract that, so we'll borrow from the 3, make that a 2, and this becomes a 14. 14 minus 6 is 8. Now we'll bring down the decimal. And then we have 12 minus 9. Again, can't subtract, not 12, said 12, I gave it away. 2 minus 9, can't subtract 9 from 2. So we'll borrow from the 4, and then this becomes a 12. Trying to squeeze these numbers in. 12 minus 9 is 3. And 3, now we have 3 minus 7, can't subtract that, so we have to borrow from everything with this problem. And then that becomes a 7. This will be a 13. 13 minus 7 is 6. And 7 minus 3 is 4. So then we have 4.63.884. And again, I recommend you just pause the video when I'm working these out if it's getting too convoluted for you. All that I had on. Let me write this back up here. Maybe I should make my pen a little thin. That was a 14 and this was a 12. That's after we borrowed. Okay, and so let's do this last and final one, 978.973. And we have 3 minus 6. I was about to say it again. Can't subtract 6 from 3, so we'll borrow from the 7, make that 6. And then this becomes a 13. And 13 minus 6 is 7. And then 6 minus 5 is 1. 9 minus 7 is 2. And then we'll bring down the decimal. And then we have 8 minus 7 is 1. And then 7 minus 5 is 2. This is not that bad. And then 9 minus 1 is 8. Could have wrote that 8 better than that. And 8, 21. So we have 821.217. All right, that is it. That's all it takes to subtract decimals. And again, if you have more decimal places out, just do the same thing, the same process, and it'll work for you. You know, it will. That's how I do it. That's how I was taught to do it. And thank you for watching, and I wish you much success.